So today I'm going to document Parkgate High Street, but I thought I'd start actually on the Wash and show you a bit of the history around here. They're constructing this new roundabout, so this was a shocker to me. I used to work down here in the 1980s when I did my apprenticeship. Then I finished at Roundwood Bar Mill before I moved to Midland Bank. But if you look down here, these are the chimneys for the soaking pits at Oldwick. And what actually used to happen, there's a couple of arc furnaces there, and they used to melt down molten scrap. They turn that into ingots. Then what they do is they put the ingots actually in the soaking pits, reheat them, and then they make billets out of them by rolling them. With a cogging mill there, and then it got rolled down a rolling mill. But what actually happened is they put a continuous caster in there. So rather than actually pouring from a arc furnace into ingots and then rolling into billets, the continuous caster used to pour the metal out of the arc furnace into continuous caster, and it created the billet straight away without the extra process. But those are the chimneys still left from the reheating process. Quite a landmark. It's sad to see them go. So that'll be the new road down to Parkgate. I totally detest Parkgate, and it's a great thing doing videos because people tell you things you don't know. That when they built Parkgate, it didn't have to have planning permission because it was part of a zone. So even though it impacted on Rotherham town centre, they got away with it. They didn't need planning permission as such. So that's why you see Rotherham town centre in its state it's in. So you're just going to walk up here. It's a bit of a short walk up to Parkgate town centre. There's an interesting pub up here, and it's got a bit of history from a film as well. So they must have been running railways over here at one bit over these two bridges. Whether for steelworks, I don't know, but I think there was also a railway line up here at one bit as well. But we're coming up to the station hotel, and it was in the film. I'll tell you about it in a moment. Quite a famous film from the 1950s, but I just want to show you one more thing before we carry on across here. Just here, I finished my time at British Steel at Roundwood Bar Mill, and this was the entranceway to Roundwood Bar Mill. I couldn't understand where it had gone, and it still exists behind here, but back in the 1980s the entranceway to Roundwood Bar Mill was actually through this golf course. So I didn't realise every day we were driving through a golf course to get there. But it's been shut off. I'll just show you quickly across the road. So this is the entranceway to, or what's the entranceway to Roundwood Bar Mill, but you actually go through the main Oldwick plant now. So it's been shut off now, and you can see there's some sort of golf course or sports facilities there. But we're looking across at the station hotel, and I'm going to get my crib notes out again. So we're now looking across at the station hotel, famous in the film Tread Softly Stranger, 1958. It was about a wage snatch at the Parkgate Iron and Steel company. I don't think they called it that though, they called it something else, but it was around about that. The main stars in it was Diane, Dors and George Baker and a few other people, but it was about a wage snatch anyway. So I'll just show you a view from across here in a moment down to the Oldwick Steelworks. So the first scene from the film Tread Softly Stranger, George Baker was arriving here on train, and if you look down to where the soaking pit chimneys are, in the film you'll actually see a colliery head from what I remember in the film. So he got off a train just here, and then you look down there and there was a colliery. So and that's on the site of the Oldwick Steelworks. I don't think it's doing too well. I think it may be called Liberty Steels now, or unless they change the name again, but sad to see it doing so badly. But it's going to do even worse under this Labour government with the net zero agenda. So we're going to walk up to Parkgate High Street, but it used to go directly up there, but now they've stuck another roundabout and they're all over the place around here. And this is the top end, looking down sort of towards Parkgate. Now there was a massive steel company here, Parkgate Iron and Steel Works. They had massive blast furnaces like the ones that you'll find at Scunthorpe that have actually been taken out now. But all this area is now Parkgate, but it would have been Parkgate Iron and Steel Works. But in the film you can see some of the old Parkgate Iron and Steel Works. I absolutely detest this place, and to me this was the start of the demise of Rotherham Town Centre. And like I said, Rotherham Council couldn't actually object to it due to it being a development zone, and the people who actually built this, or one of them, then teamed up with somebody else and they built Meadow Hall. I think they were going to extend this one, but then they decided to do Meadow Hall instead, and that destroyed Sheffield. So, but Sheffield City Council could have objected to Meadow Hall, but they chose not to by the looks of it, unless you can prove me wrong. But we've got the Great Eastern Way here, but you can just see Parkgate starting to stretch out down here. It's just everywhere. But there's another big roundabout down there. You've got this roundabout here, but we're going to just cut across now to Parkgate Town Centre. But I thought I'd show you the history around here. So if you look down there, you can see the soaking pits, you can see the Station Hotel, and that road came straight up here. There was none of all these roads, so it came straight up Alwood Road into Parkgate Town Centre, and this road came up to the crossroads, but it's been blocked off as it comes up to the crossroads. But I hated my time at Roundwood. I couldn't wait to get out and join Midland Bank. I mean, I'd just come out of my apprenticeship. I was still only about 20-year-old, and what was actually happening is they were saying they couldn't give us permanent jobs, but what they were doing is they were forcing me to work at weekends on my own. I didn't mind working on my own on the steel plant, but there was nobody else with actually in the office. So say for example I got injured on the steel plant, there was nobody else from process control actually working on the same day. So they were sending a young lad, a 20-year-old, on his own, and I could have been injured on the steel plant and nobody would have known because nobody had been looking for me. And I think that was disgusting, but so I started to get a bit miffed with them, to tell you the truth, and got the job at Midland Bank, and they didn't like it when I started standing up for myself. But we'll just walk down this short road. It's been blocked off and there's loads of car parking now, but this came down to the crossroads, as you'll see in a moment. I don't know what that building is there, but they built with a bit more character back then. It's just a bit of a short walk down to the crossroads. I think there's a monument down here as well. And I'm a bit surprised because I thought I'd actually previously done a video on this, but I can't find the video on my channel. But I don't know if that was an old club of some kind. Probably somebody can say. But when you block like main artery roads off like this through places. This is what kills them off, and you'll start to see it when we get onto the Parkgate High Street. So this is a monument I was talking about. It's an acorn of some kind, whatever it means, I don't know. I'll see if I can find anything on it. There is a bit of a board on it, you can stop the screen. Oldwood acorn symbolises the start of an housing market renewal. So sod the jobs and the steelworks and all of that. But we're actually on Oldwood Road at the moment, and this was a busy crossroads. We've got the Travellers Pub. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom end, but I want to say is this was a busy crossroads at one bit before they shut it off on my side. So when I mentioned the roundabout at the bottom, we're on the Great Eastern Way, we're at the roundabout on the bottom, right in the middle of sort of the Parkgate area. Not the main part of the shopping centre, but these places are everywhere. To me it's pretty soul destroying. But we'll walk up the high street now. I think the high street probably went further down than this, but it's probably been cut off. It would have been a fantastic high street in its heyday. You see the Asda supermarket just there, the Aldi one just there. But we did a lot of yellow boards on that roundabout in lockdown. But this would have been an absolute thriving high street in the past. And the Parkgate and Iron Steelworks would have been an absolute massive steelworks. I'm going to see if Dave Ebony can get me a map of it from the 1950s to just see how big it is. But that's why you've got the Parkgate shopping centre. It's pretty much built on it. But we'll walk back up to the crossroads that's been cut off. And you can get a full appreciation. That looks an half decent lady shop there, London connection. But it reminds me so much of Attercliffe in Sheffield. So much more character than these out of town shopping centres. But I want to document this for the future because we don't know what will be left of places like this in the future. So we've got another church there. Pretty nice stained glass window on it. One for you, Dave Ebony, on that one. But it just shows you how dead. There's not that many people walking around the town centre anymore, but imagine back in the 1950s and 60s this place would have been absolutely hustling and bustling. We were pretty busy back in the 1980s when I've been here at Christmas lunch and that. Got a Staniforth's Bakers. So we'll come back down this side in a moment, the other side. I think they tend to close early, Staniforth, so it's not shut, it's just closed for the day. Got a camera right in the middle of it. So like I said, there's a speed camera right in the middle of here. Warning. We've got the Parkgate in here. This would have been a busy crossroads right here. And you can start to see this is where it was blocked off here. We've got the travellers, but I'll come and do you the travellers coming back. So I've been in the travellers at Christmas. But I just want to capture what's left of the place. I can't show you the hustle and bustle that would have once been here. I don't know if it's on about the same par as Attercliffe really. We've got plenty of Turkish barbers here. Let's just walk around the back of the bus stop. Got the Clarence Hotel there, which is now Identity Unisex hair salon. Just get a view back down on that in a moment. So that's flowers for all occasions. Don't know how well you can see it. But to me it does remind me so much of Attercliffe with the character. There's an awful lot of shutters down here. I don't know if they're early closing. I'm trying to think. It's about 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. What I'll do is I'll go a bit further up here. I'll get the church at the top and then I'll come back down the other side. But just imagine, I think this road stretched on and on before Parkgate Shopping Centre was built. And just imagine the bustle and bustle along here. So I'm just going to stop my camera, walk up to the church and then I'll come back down the other side. I just noticed a few more shops up here as well, so well, it looks like that's shut down, Abigus Pine. So Parkgate would have been quite a decent town in its own right. Probably wouldn't, you know, it'd been a town like Rotherham was a town. Parkgate would have probably been a town in its own right. Probably a lot more populated in the past. And then we've got vape shops all over the place around here. But I've driven up and down this road but never really walked up and down it. So we're now approaching the church right at the top of the hill. So it still says High Street up here, Romarsh Hill and High Street, so got a bit of a war memorial there. So I don't know if Parkgate carries on right up here. So we'll have a look around the corner and see what's going on, because there's another interesting church up here. So we're at the church, St Mary the Virgin. We might as well go in and have a quick look. So St Mary the Virgin is quite a large church, as you can see. So it's 3 o'clock. But if you look round this doorway, you can see pillars up, but there's something missing above all of those pillars. Something doesn't quite look right to me. You've got the circular bit, you've got the pillars, but there's something should be actually above these smaller pillars to connect them together. So that's one for you, Dave. Seems really weird, that, doesn't it? Just see if I can see anything round the back, but there is another big grand church up here I'm going to capture for you. Might as well do the full Monty. So we'll get back onto the main road. So that must be the boundary with Rawmarsh. The church said Rawmarsh on it, so I'm going to walk down the other side now and show you the opposite side of the road into Parkgate. So I don't know what that building is tucked behind it. Another one for you, Dave. If you can tell us what that church is on the other side of the, or what that building is on the other side of the road. Got a care home around here, but Mr. Starmer's doing all his best to get rid of the older folk, removing the eating supplement and increasing the fuel bills, and wants to get rid of the single person's allowance. So we're coming back down the hill from the church now. There's some grand houses up here. Now, your places like Parkgate Iron and Steel works would have been real wealth creators, not like the service sector we now have. It looks more like housing stock down here, but we'll get a bit further down and I'll switch the camera back on. So this may bring back memories for some people. We've got Parkgate Pharmacy here. And then another building coming up a bit further down. Bit of an interesting motive on the top of this house here. I don't know if anybody knows what it means. If you look right up there, it's on both the houses the same motive. It always makes the filming much more positive when the sun's out. But it must have been a very wealthy community at one bit, as you can see with some of the buildings here. I remember there's a customs building down here somewhere, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. We've got public library here. I'm not really sure what all the points are on the top of it. Another one for you, Dave. And then we've got a customs house here. I don't know what that's about, whether when it was a big steelworks, if they were going abroad, they got an house here ready so that they could process everything for going abroad. That's a public library. It says 1904 on it. Bank house here. But if you watch the film Tread Softly Stranger, you'll see probably some of this in the actual film. Beautiful building though, isn't it? My concern is that at some stage somebody comes along and knocks it down. Well, because it's been left to rot for so long, they find an excuse, so at least it's film forevermore. Car valeting place there. So I'm not sure if that was a pub just there, if anybody can say. But I think I've been around with my camera taking photos of Parkgate before, but never filmed it before. Just here we've got the Sportsman's Inn, but it looks like this is not the Sportsman's Inn anymore, or it could be, I don't know. Probably somebody can say whether it's still the Sportsman's Inn. Let's just show you at the top. So it don't look like it's operating. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're coming back down to the Travellers, and I spent my last Christmas at British Steel in there. Absolutely packed that Christmas Eve lunch, I think it was. I think everybody from British Steel were in there. Carry on down. This is the junction now, the crossroads we originally came across. See the Parkgate in there, Greasborough Road. But I bet that you could buy anything from the shops here, just like you could do at one bit in Attercliffe. Just watch out for the speed camera, trying to get you doing a few miles an hour over the limit, but they never come out for the joyriders, do they? That's racing around your community at night. So we've got the Miners' Institute here, so that'll be where I showed you where the where the chimneys were on the soaking pits. There was a pub over there. Sorry, there was a colliery over there in the film, and there's a bit of a blue board on it there. You can stop the screen and look at that. So I think that's what it would have been from. This whole area was surrounded by coal for the steel industry at one bit. We've had a systematic destruction of our industrial base rather than a modernising of it, and it's destroyed the UK. And those that aren't awake to it will find out very shortly. So we've got one more building down here. It's quite interesting. And then we're back at the roundabout for Parkgate, but that's Revolution Records. Coffee, tea and cakes. You see a little bit of a thing on top of the building. So that's it, we're back down at monotonous Parkgate now. I might just walk back up the hill and do Rawmarsh, because I've never walked Rawmarsh before, so I might as well kill two birds with one stone. So if you can like the video, follow the channel, click on notifications for new videos in the future. Over and out from Parkgate town.